The verse I chose for today's devotion comes from verse 4. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. So we see that God first creates light, and as it refers in verse 3 is let there be light. He creates light for the very first time, and he says, this is good. This is kind of like what Jesus talked about with his parable with the lamp. He used the lamp as an illustration to say that we are the light of the world. And when you put a covering over a lamp, the light doesn't spread. But when you uncover it, it shines bright to the rest of the house. And this is how Jesus wants us to live. He wants us to live bright for him. He wants us to live in a way where we're not ashamed to tell people that we are a Christian, or to show people throughout everyday actions, throughout everything we do and say and we go. Jesus wants us to be the light of the world. No matter where we are to be genuine, authentic, showing the love of Christ throughout this entire world without being ashamed. Another thing is that God separates the light from the darkness. Notice that God does not create darkness. He separates the light from the darkness. Create means to come into being, but to separate is to keep apart or divide. God is not creating darkness. He separates it. And just like us, when we came to Christ, that sinfulness, that darkness in our life, that wickedness, when we came to Christ, that was taken away. We were separated, we were consecrated, which means basically sacred for God, set apart for God, and we were made justified by Jesus's blood. And now we are no longer looked at as sinful human beings. He looks at us through his Son, as Jesus was the propitiation for all of our sin by his blood that was shed on the cross. Hey, I want to ask you, do you shine brightly for Jesus? Do you let your light shine, or do you keep it in? And do you thank Jesus every single day for his blood that was shed on the cross? Because without it, our sins could never be forgiven. My name is Luke, and I'll see you next time on Summer Shorts.